Hey everybody, welcome back to John's Firearms 705. Today we're doing a little review and some range time. The Savage Access, chambered in 22-250. First thing we're going to want to do is make sure this firearm is unloaded. Has the detachable box magazine. Pull that out. There's nothing up here, nothing in the chamber. To pull the bolt out on this one, you lift it up, pull it back a bit, depress your trigger. There's a little button here, you got to push down, hold that, let go of the trigger. Slide your bolt right out. Give it a little manual check with our finger. This firearm is unloaded and safe for today's review. Okay, now the 22-250, the first commercial acceptance of these of the firearms chambered in this round was in 1963. The Browning Arms Company, and let me just set this down so I have to hold it. They started to chamber the Browning high-powered rifle in 1963 in 22-250. Now, of course, at that time, it was a brand new caliber, so they had to use what they called a Wildcat cartridge. I won't go bother into explaining what that is. If you know, you know. If you don't know and you want to look it up, I'm sure you can do that. Now, incidentally, Remington came out with their 700 series in about 1967, and it became a little bit more widely available. Now the Savage Access itself, it has a pretty good balance of weight, accuracy, and handling. There's some that are out there now. This is an older model, but there's newer ones, the Savage Access 2, chambered in 22-250. It comes with a scope. It's a whole package deal. But they are, you know, the cheaper end, kind of entry level into this caliber. If you want a little bit more, you can check out the Remington, Mossberg, or even Tikka. They have a little bit more highly developed 22-250 bolt action. Incidentally, on mine, there's a Bushnell Banner scope. It's 6 by 18 by 50. So if you want the Access 2, like this one here, like I say, is an older one. You might be able to find one used somewhere. I wouldn't really recommend it. I would go with the Access 2 if you're looking one, because it comes with what they call an AccuTrigger. You can actually adjust your trigger pull. And they go for roughly around $650 before taxes Canadian at the time of this filming. Or if you want to go up to the Remington 700 that chambered in 22-250, they're roughly around $1,100. Okay, so like I said, obviously I took it out. It's a bolt action. The barrel color in the receiver is matte black. What else can I say? It's made out of carbon steel. The magazine, it holds 4 rounds. It's a right hand bolt action, this particular one. The overall length is 42.5 inches. The rate of twist up in here is 1 in 12, which isn't really the best, but it does the job. It's a center fire, obviously, with a synthetic stock, and the overall weight is about, with this scope on here, it's about 7.5 pounds. Okay, now that being said, if you do have one of these, and you're wondering, like, where the heck is my serial number? Well, we're gonna have to take off the stock from the action. We're going to need a 5/32 Allen wrench, and there's 2 screws in the bottom. There's a front one here. We'll take that out. It's just a short little guy. And there's another one here, part of the trigger guard. So we'll take that one out. Once we have that out, the trigger guard, it's all plastic, synthetic, it comes out, and we can remove our action from the stock. We'll just put our stock aside for now. Now, like I say, the Access 2 has an AccuTrigger. This one here, it's all epoxied and sealed up from the factory. If you have the Access 2, it comes with a little tool, and you can actually adjust the screw in here. Now, you can also see the mechanism here to help remove our bolt. When we pull our trigger and push this down, it holds the trigger back so we can remove our bolt and also to install it. Okay, now what else can I really say about this firearm? Would I recommend getting a 22-250? You know what? The ammunition for it is quite pricey since it's not really mass produced. This particular one, I find it's not very accurate. After you put about 6 or 7 rounds through it, the barrel does heat up and it gets a little bit sloppy with its groupings. You'll see that when I stitch in some range video. However, now that being said, I did get this at a really good price used from a friend of mine. So I'm not complaining. I don't take it out to the range that much, again, just because of the price of ammunition. But you know what? It's a Savage firearm, right? They're cheap. I do have another Savage chambered in 22 long rifle. Not a fan of it. You can see my other video for that. It just had a real punky receiver that easily to strip out a screw. This particular one, the one chambered in 22 250, the Savage Access, it's a little bit heavier duty material, so I don't run the risk of stripping stuff out. So anyway, that being said, you saw how easy it comes apart. I use a bore snake to clean these out because it is a little bit tricky to get up in here if you're using patches and a cleaning rod. So that being said, let's go ahead and put it back together. Put it there, mount it up, get our trigger guard, pop it in place, grab our longer screw, our 5/32 Allen wrench. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Savage. Oh, I forgot to show you too. When you do take this off, your serial number is in here underneath the stock on the barrel. You can't see it otherwise unless you remove your stock. Probably should have showed you that when I had it apart. So it is pretty simple. Again, you got this detachable box magazine. They're very expensive if you want to get a second one for some reason. I don't really know why you would need more than one magazine, but if you need a replacement, because it's just kind of flimsy. It just has this little plastic latch on the front. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Savage rifles. They're just, I mean, they are cheap, but you get what you pay for. Now again, to put our bolt back in, squeeze the trigger, press in this button, and we can put our bolt back in there. Now what I will say is it does have a pretty smooth action, that's for sure. It is very smooth. Now I don't like to leave mine cocked, so to decock these, of course, you pull your bolt out, depress your trigger, push the bolt in and back down, and boom, you're decocked. Okay guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to stitch in a little bit of video from out at the range. I didn't really have it dialed in, and with the price of the ammunition, you know what, I didn't really bother trying to get all super accurate and really great footage of nice groupings. I just wanted to show you basically what it looked like, what it sounded like. What we brought out today is the Savage 22 250. Going to be shooting some Remington jacketed hollow points. Look at those puppies, eh? Whole lot of powder pushing a 22 shell downrange. The magazine holds 4 rounds. I'm just going to load up 3. Of course, this is a bolt action firearm. So let's knock out a couple of rounds down there and see what we end up with. Going live. Okay, let's take a little walk down there and see how we did. You know, I got a couple in there. You know, I was lining it up earlier today, trying to sight it in. Got a couple ones decently there. You know, I do enjoy this firearm. The ammunition is quite expensive for it. I don't reload. I'm Not into that at this point. Something I should look into. But hey, how lucky am I? Like, look at this weather. It's a beautiful place out here. I'm so freaking fortunate, man. So that's the video. Peace out. Have fun. Be safe. Cause no harm. And if you get a chance, get out to the range.